it's our pleasure to have the Hong Kong and Italian delegates who have joined the Milan Roundtable here today. Now let's begin our first panel discussion, Presage Sustainable Fashion Trend. If any audience who has some questions who would like to ask, you may scan the QR code on the back of your admission badge that you are hanging. You can put your question in there and we will receive it. Now, may I invite our moderator, Ms. Karen Ho, Head of Corporate and Community Sustainability, WWF Hong Kong, and our speakers. Jane Rice Gavady-Abbott, Professor of Eco-Design and Circular Economy in the Fashion Sector at IED, European Institute of Design, Milan. Mr. Peter Hui, Chairman of Hong Kong Knitwear Exporters and Manufacturers Association. Mr. Eric Lau, Vice Chairman of Sustainable Animal Fibers Council, FHKI. And Mr. Italo Massalia, founder of Italian brand Italo Massalia, Master Course Coordinator at IED, European Design Institute, Roma. Thank you to Ms. Karen Ho and all our speakers.
Good morning. Oh, it's already 6 months. Can't imagine. We continue our dialogue in Milan, and I hope we have a wonderful discussions this morning, and then share with the audience all our belief as well as our thoughts on sustainable fashions. So before we start the discussions, why don't I invite every one of you to introduce yourself so that our audience know your background and they know how to ask questions then. May I start with Eric?
Hi everyone. My profession is in animal fibers production. My factory is in Cambodia, where we basically work with all kinds of animal fibers, including sheep, wool, fur, leather. We also work with things like rabbits and even beavers for hats. So this is our production, and we have been in the business for over 40 years. And as a manufacturer, we do face a lot of scrutiny and a lot of opportunities also in this sector. So I do have something to say about sustainability in this area. Thank you very much.
May I have Jay?
Need to? Okay, it's all ready. Hello everyone, I'm Jane Gavady-Abbott, and I'm teaching eco-design and circular economy at JED in Milan. I've been teaching in the fashion business the last 18 years for different universities in Milan. And my background is I'm pattern making and I'm a designer. I have a master degree in fashion styling. So I've been working within the fashion industry since I finished many years ago from now. So, and obviously I'm very passionate about sustainability and what is going on in the world right now and how we can change the way of doing things within the industry to move towards a more circular future.
Thank you. How about Peter?
Hi, my name is Peter. I'm wearing Italian outfit today. Buongiorno. Okay, I'm running a business which is manufacturing sweater. We call knitwear manufacturer. Sustainability. I like this word. Yeah, and but sometimes I don't like it much. Yeah. I'm still learning. I think sustainability to me is quite complicated as from the manufacturing side. Yeah, we can talk a bit more later. Yeah, so this is me. Thanks.
So the last but not least, Italo.
Hi everyone, my name is Italo and I feel a duty to me to be dressed all in Italian clothing, of course. I am a fashion designer and I've been studying fashion at IIT in Italy, and nowadays I am a fashion designer and I am a product manager and an activist for sustainable change. I am the founder of my namesake label, and since 2016 we have been dealing with sustainable fashion. We want to be a fashion brand who deal with the idea that an high-profile fashion can be sustainable and that we can make a big difference in the market. I am a master coordinator at YED, and in this master course I want to give the vision of sustainable fashion, of course, because I do believe that sustainability is not just a trend and is not just something that must be taught, but is something that we have to deal with for a better world.
Thank you. The first questions I'd like to ask is sustainable fashion a significant industry in your region, or is it still relatively small? And I'd like to ask Eric and Italo on this question.
Okay, I'll start. Sustainability in manufacturing has always been two-sided. On the one side, of course, all the factories are doing much more in terms of pollution control. So we are trying everything to reuse more water, or we are trying to use more recyclable material. We're trying to use more renewable energy. And there are certainly a lot of new technologies that makes production much more cleaner than 30 years ago. A lot of the materials that you see in the world that talks about production is being dirty, I think some of the practices or some of the chemicals that they complain about, I think we have stopped using, actually. And we are being much cleaner than before. But on the other side, the orders actually come from our customers. And the demand from customers really is coming from the buyers or the consumers. And if there are a lot of demand from the consumers, then we do see the orders being much more sustainable, in the sense that, let's say, there are brands out there who would demand 30% renewable energy or percentage of recycled material that is used in production. So in this sense, the whole industry is moving forward in terms of manufacturing. So we really do hope that the consumers will demand more and we will push it forward, because actually it comes from cost. There is a cost to all of this. And if the consumers, like Mr. Young said, that 60% of the consumers are willing to pay for this, then we will see a better future in terms of sustainability.
Well, I would say that, of course, as a designer, I see that things are changing deeply, and sustainability is always something that we care always more and more. And as you said, truly, overconsumption is, of course, a thing that we must care about nowadays, and it's something we need to change. But if we see the things from a regional point of view, things in Europe are changing, and they are changing really quickly. And in Italy, as a country of craftsmanship, where craftsmanship has always been existing. We can see things from an historical point of view, and this is something very interesting, because you have to understand that since the Second World War, from the very beginning of the 40s, in Italy, we have always think about the craftsmanship as something circular. The recycling of wool has been existing in Italy since the early 40s in Italy. So the approach to a circular economy has always been existed, and this is something that comes from the roots of craftsmanship in our country. So I think that in our history and in our behavior is something that is deeply connected. And nowadays we still have this kind of approach, and it's growing day by day, and even thanks to the new laws, everybody is caring always more and more about this. I see, even thanks to my work at the university, I see that new generation are always more and more dedicated to the sustainability and to the environment. So I do think that even the work of the designers must be very careful about where we are going. And as Martin Lindstrom says, fashion has to be a cost to be an investment. And I'm not just talking for the consumers, but even about the planet.
So it's very good that we have viewpoints from the manufacturing sector, and at the same time we have viewpoints from the designer, and then understand that Italy has traditions of craftsmanship, and then you believe that would lead to or be a major factors of the sustainability or the source of sustainability. While in factories' point of view, probably you need more conscious consumers as well as buyers, so that what you're doing will be appreciated. Yeah. So I'd like to have a follow-up questions to both of you. Do you see sustainable fashion industry progressing or stagnating in your area? And then what are the key factors influencing these trends?
Okay. In the last few years, actually, I do see the push for sustainability forward has been stagnant. In several fronts. In some countries, for example, where we make production, we have been pushing to have install, let's say, solar panels. But actually, the country do not encourage us and even penalize us for such an action due to political reasons, which I don't really understand. And also for some of the customers, they when they place the order, because they want to lower the cost, that they do even want us to use unsustainable chemicals, which of course we cannot, and we refuse, because even our suppliers stop carrying such chemicals. And we do see this, I think, is because the world economy is slowing down, and people are willing to pay less for goods. And this is the trend I do see. And this is very discouraging, of course. I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and my master's degree is in environmental engineering. And we have been pushing our company always forward in this front, and now we are blocked in several fronts in this area. So it is quite discouraging. But I think we need to push the brands to do something, the consumers to do something, and that's where the power is, I believe, and not in the manufacturing.
Usually there are three main factors that contribute to the growing of sustainability. There are human, social, and economics. And when we talk about economic, we have to deal with the SDGs as well. When we talk about economic, we have to think about even the equality of economic wealth for everybody. And I see this when I talk about the young generations, and it's true, they want to spend less for the new garments they buy, but I see they are very careful about what they buy. I see they are not just reaching for fast fashion, but they are also reaching for what can I have for the same price? Can I buy something from, I don't know, a thrift shop? Can I buy something from secondhand? Can I give a longer life to a garment? Maybe I can buy something from a small shop in my neighborhood. I think this is the kind of approach we are looking for the new generation, and this is the kind of approach we should encourage to have a circular economy or a new level of economic environment, because otherwise we are not having a good approach to the environment. So I would say to have a good balance, we have to look for this kind of empowerment.
Yeah, I share the same feeling. I have a lot of interns or working with the young people, and then exactly as what you say, they are looking to buy from smaller shops, as well as they like to hear the story. They like to hear the story behind whether it's a garments or clothing or an accessory. So they treasure the products much more than just a piece of products. Going back to Eric, I really like to have a side talk with you. We share the same frustrations, because when we talk about climate change, global negotiations, especially when we just finished the COP29, a lot of countries are talking about subsidizing the developing countries to move on to cleaner energy or even to renewable energy. And I was surprised that there will be, when you try to add renewable energy capacity, you're being penalized, and that's not the way forward for the world. And I guess there could be something to continue the discussions, whether with the local government or with...
We continue to complain.
I don't think complaining is a good way. Probably we may need to do more collaborations, whether it's your manufacturer together with the brand, together with the investor. I guess they treasure investment, and I'm not sure the behind reason why they don't support renewable energy. Probably is because of the lobby of the traditional fossil fuel. Could be one of the reasons, but that's not good for the environment. Talking about younger generations and the upcoming consumers' preference, I'd like to turn to Jay to ask about what role do you believe the design institutes plays in helping designers manage sustainable fashion business?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a matter of having the right approach to sustainability. So the right education, obviously making the right courses. And I think it's important that now I'm teaching eco-design and circular economy within the fashion industry. So mine is just one course. But for me, I think it's very important that you implement it in all the different topics that you're teaching within the universities. And it's not only fashion, but in all creative subjects. I think it's important that we implement these techniques and these focus on the circular economy in general. I also believe it's very important that the future designers within the fashion industry are not just designers which learn how to make drawings and how to make good researchers, but they need to be able to understand the whole supply chain, because in the future we have the young students or the young designers. It's going to be a new generation of designers. They're not going to be old school like me, but they need to know within the supply chain, because they need to design a product which is made for refurbishing. It needs to be reused again, and it's a new approach to design. So it's not just a matter of, you also need to know a lot about pattern making, because if you don't know all these steps within the whole way around the supply chain, I think it will still be difficult for designers to design a products which have to be recycled into new products again. So you also need to know even more about the way of recycling materials, because you need to know that if you don't design it correctly, your product cannot be recycled in the last end. So I think it's very important that the focus is on the whole supply chain and not just on designing.
Yeah, definitely. I still remember, sir, it's last year or the year before the Fashion Summit, we did a survey on all the designers, because it's so important. Everything starts with the design. If you design it wrong, probably you can't really make use of the garments to turn it back or doing any upcycling, or even if you are designing it wrong, probably it wastes a lot of materials, or having different materials mixed together will lead to difficulty in recycling and all sorts of issues. So Peter, I'd like to ask you, I'm not sure if you are interacting frequently with designers, because it looks like that design is very important, but they need to understand about the manufacturing technology and at the same time have direct interaction such that we can collectively proceed with the sustainability or advance sustainability. So what's your view?
Okay, all right. Interaction with designer, and I'll say yes, but not most of the time. I talk with some young designers, and as what I said, I'm still learning about the sustainability, how to do it, because from the manufacturing side, you know what, when I was young, I learned about business is like buying and selling things, without any sustainability factors there in 1990s, right? So everything, I think to me or to everyone new, we are in the transition period. And I think one word is very important to me: balance. And because if honestly, because we are still in the transition period, some of the recycled material in our industry is like more expensive than the virgin materials. And we are the manufacturing side, my company, we don't do branding or retailing, so we are not the one who set the price. When we got the same price, but the cost is like higher in the apparel manufacturing business now, it's not financially sustainable. I'm sorry about that. So I hope like people majority can understand, and I think except balance, I think another word is very important, and I'm so happy to see a lot of young generation there in this venue today. Is what I want to say is education. Not only to manufacturers or to the brands, and I hope it's to the majority, to the consumer. Because I still remember like a couple years ago when I was doing another sharing of sustainability and environmental protection in an university in Hong Kong. Because it was still COVID period, so only like 50 or 70 students were there. And I asked one question, and anyone will pay 10% more for the sustainable product if the appearance are identical. I was shocked. No one. Yeah, so that's the reality. So what I think now, because Eric talked about cost, and recently I heard a lot more. It's like investment. Yeah, for especially in our manufacturing side, because I think I and Eric, like we are on the same boat and trying to strike for some balance, yeah, to get the break-even point, not to earn a lot by this, but not losing money, right? Yeah, making business. But seems not very successful, right? So I think the education and cooperation and collaboration, I think we have to do it all together, not from our side only, not from your side only, or your side only. We cannot do it, or only one single country can do everything. I don't think so. Yeah, so we have to do it all, and especially in the international situation now, the geopolitical tension, and I hope sustainability can be one of the tool or the chance that get everyone together, right? So I think this is the common language. Yeah, we all want to have a better home. It's not rocket science. Yeah, just want to have better home and better living, right?
Exactly.
So I just want to add a comment to that one, because obviously it's everybody who have to, it's not just the manufacturers or the designers or the consumers. We really have to all get together, and it's everybody who's wearing clothes have a responsibility, obviously, on how you buy your clothes and how you get rid of your clothes as well. So obviously it's a matter of everybody's getting together all over the world. So a matter of education, yes, but it's not just about in school, or we teach the, like the new designer. It's also a matter of new generations, like I believe that we have to actually start with our kids, because those are the ones living in our world in the future, and those are the ones who is going to take care of all these problems that we have right now. Maybe we are starting to get going with all these new initiatives, but they are the ones, they're the generations that have to bring it on, and in the end we would like this world to keep on running for many years to go. So I believe that we have generations which are very small, and those are probably the ones creating the new fashion industry in the future. So absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, a lot of the traditional manufacturing management practice, I guess, is already hinting to the sustainability. Say, for instance, new manufacturers, your own owner-operators like to talk about efficiency, like to talk about do things right at the first time. You don't do sample 3 times. Like cutting out that loss or making it more efficient, making use of the whole lot of materials. That's already part of the sustainability, I would say. And I guess no one would like to ask a manufacturer not to earn profit, because that's not sustainable. Sustainability, we all know about, is about economic, social, as well as the environment. There's no one area or no one portion greater than the other. Actually, we need to all work together. Going back still on the trends of sustainable fashions, I'd like to ask Jane, do you have any feeling or the future trends of sustainable fashion in Italy or in Europe? Share some tips with us.
Yeah, so absolutely. What I think we see right now as trends, the trends, I really don't like it with sustainability, because I believe it's a thing which is here. It's not going to be something we talk about. It's a trend, because it have to be concept that we are living by in general. So, but what we see a lot within these new, we have a lot of new technologies. There is a lot of companies also implementing blockchain when we're talking about transparency, which I believe is very important. We also see all these new 3D programs where we exactly you can save a lot of sampling and a lot of emissions by sending samples. We also have different platforms now that the European Commission is coming out with all the new laws. We have companies making platforms, so it's going to be easier for the companies doing the DPPs and all these things that we have to do from next year. So definitely seeing a lot of tech companies going into the fashion industry to try to implement all these technologies that we will need to use in the future. And then as a trend, I believe that the consumer is getting more ready they're making a bigger demand on the sustainability. I see, at least in Europe, a lot of people are using different channels as well for second hand. It's getting very, very popular also because it's a way you can extend the life cycle of clothing, obviously. So this is what I'm seeing right now as if we have to talk about trends within the fashion industry.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe Peter, would you like to share with us what factors do you believe will influence the future of sustainable fashions and its business model? I understand that you may share some slides with us, right?
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's like kind of complain or whatever because, okay, garment manufacturer or we call fashion business, we are like kind of labeled as like, especially when it like comes to the manufacturing side, it's like we are labeled, we are the evils, right? Yeah, the two evils are sitting together. Yeah, so let me tell you guys, we're not. Yeah, and you know what? I'm sure I care about the environmental protection. Not less than anyone of you guys or around the world because I love outdoor sports. I always go like sailing, hiking, snowboarding, everything. So I love the Mother Earth. Yeah, a lot, very, very much, even more than my better half at home. So for the future, that's what I said about the balance, about the education, and about working together. And especially one thing is like from the manufacturing side, I agree with Eric. Sometimes we are quite like disappointed or discouraging, yeah, by manufacturers. But don't give up. Don't give up. Honestly, every step counts. Yeah, because we're the one, yeah, who are like still working in the industry, and they are the one, yeah, who needs the world to be cleaner, to be greener. Yeah, we're not doing something for ourselves. Yeah, I'm sure if we don't talk about sustainability or environmental protection, it won't be the end of the world for our generation. We're doing something for our next generation, so don't give up. Yeah, just do it. And communication, talk to everyone in the whole supply chain. Yeah, because I think we all have our problems, but on the other hand, we all have our like knowledge or experience to tackle the obstacles. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
you like to also share with the audience about the regulatory policy side of things? Because in the preparation sessions, you did mention that probably not only in Europe, but in China, there's quite a good regulatory framework.
Yes. So I said communication is very important because in several occasions in Hong Kong or other countries, when I met foreigners, when we mentioned about when I introduced myself as a China manufacturer, and they're like talk about the pollution and something political, government policy, like trying to accuse. I'll say China production is not that green, or the pollution policy is not completed. I'll say I've been in this industry for over 25 years over, and I went back to my factory back in 1998 until now. I can see the improvement of the China government and the regulations and the policy refinement, especially in air pollution. Because as what I said, I'm doing knitwear manufacturing, so we have we had a very big boiler for pressing the garments, right? So back in 1990s, our own boiler can burn garbage, woods, charcoal, whatsoever. Yeah, but like I think 10 years ago, I don't remember exactly, we all like have to change to natural gas. Yeah, supply from I'll say the government suppliers. So the cost, or what we said, the investment it was higher, and comparatively is like a lot higher. But yeah, because of the government's regulation, we're businessmen. If I can choose, I might choose a cheaper way, but we don't have a choice. If you want to be there, okay, you have to do it the government's way. Yeah, this is China. Water pollution as well. Yeah, same system. Yeah, if I don't remember wrong, in Dongguan area, which is the nearby Hong Kong, the southern part of China, the license of like washing our garments, they won't like issue the new one to everybody, like since I think 10 or 12 years ago. Yeah, they centralized. They asked the expert to do the water pollution, to do the infrastructure, because the government thinks that individual might not be able, especially for those small factories, they might not be able to have that kind of big investment for the water pollution. So I think I won't say now the China government has done everything 100% or already complete, but try the very, very best already. Yeah, we are.
Actually, I do have something to say about that. I think China is doing much better than most of the Southeast Asian countries and in terms of environmental policy, and this is something that has happened since. My observation was since 2013, when our chairman, Mr. Xi Jinping, is in power, and he really changed the way the whole country is looking at wealth. I think he has a very famous saying that mountains of gold and silver, or rivers of silver, is not as worthy than the green mountain and the blue river. Something like this. I'm not too good with translation. So actually, since his tenure, or he really changed China in terms of production. I do have production both in China and in Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia has also very good laws and stringent laws, but I think the upholding of these laws is to a much lower level than China. So I just want to add that in.
Thank you.
So maybe I think it's a good chance to us, to Hong Kong and to China, because for the sake of the geopolitical tension, that some countries are not concerning about the environmental protection, but like applying the policy like anywhere but China, trying to place the very high tariffs, So maybe if like sustainability becomes the top priority of like all the countries, so we are the good guys, so we might have advantage.
Thank you. Yes. Actually, we always believe sustainability is a source of comparative advantage, and if not the ticket that you are staying in the industry, because as we mentioned, the future consumers, the future employee, are looking for a sustainable company to work with as well as to buy from. So if we are not on that side, then probably we'll lose them. So our theme of this conference is actually to power up sustainable fashion business. So I like to hear from all the experts here. Maybe Italo, you can start telling us what strategy would be most effective in advancing sustainable fashion movement, whether it's partnering with luxurious brands or exploring alternative approaches.
Well, I would say, first of all, I would say something connected to what Mr. Peter said. You said, as a businessman, you must face with the big struggle, choosing always the cheapest way. And I think this inspired me a philosophical question. When we talk about sustainability, we need to talk even about ethical fashion as well. And sometimes talking about cheaper way is not also the ethical way. And this is a big struggle in the fashion industry right now. So I would say that we have to deal with even the ethical struggle. And I think that when a country deals with the sustainability issues, they also have to deal with ethical issue, with all the workers and masters who are involved in this sector. And I'm sure that we do all agree about this. Since so, I'm very sure that as a young designer who deals with the idea of growing up his own business into sustainable fashion branch and into ethical fashion branch, I would agree having an alliance with big fashion houses and luxury fashion houses is fine, but as long as it would be good reaching a goal into having good, visibility, because sometimes with these big fashion brands that could be like Kering or LVMH, the problem is with greenwashing, and I would absolutely avoid these kind of things. So to me, the good strategy would be improving and encouraging like small local business. So I really appreciated the work of Prada made in the last years when they used to give a good visibility to the minority people of Peru, of small villages where they have found local craftsmanship, and they encouraged it, making very pieces of art, giving good visibility to the craftsmanship of local people. So this would be a good way to me and to my idea of sustainable fashion, of having a partnership with big brands of luxury. I would for sure suggest to find alternative ways, which would be like having collections of upcycling, finding, leftovers and giving them new life. Because to me, the problem is we have overconsumption. We have produced already too much. So I think we should give new life to what we have. And the point is, upcycling is always a good choice. And I'm sure that Made in Italy is, of course, a good way, and giving new life to scraps and to leftover would be a very good way of being sustainable. So to me, the good way would be making more upcycling collection.
Thank you. Jane, would you like to add on this?
Yes, I would love to add something. So first of all, and this might not be the comment that people, like at least the manufacturers want to hear, we need to produce less. Much less than we're doing right now. Right now there is the overconsumption at a level which is completely out of control. So first of all, we should produce and consume less. I don't believe you're the bad guys, but I believe that there should be much more communication between the companies and the manufacturers, because right now, I've been working in fast fashion as well many years ago, and I know that sometimes I feel a bit like the communication is one way. So me as a brand, I'm telling you I want this product at this price, and if you don't want to do it, I'm just gonna find somebody else. And I think we need to work on a toxic relationship like that. I know that you as a manufacturer, it's very difficult to say, no, I'm not gonna engage with the toxic relationship like this, but I also know if you're going to say no, they're just going to find somebody else and you will lose the order. So I think it's a very fine line, but I think we need to contribute, both the brands and obviously also the manufacturers, but also the demands from the consumer. I think a lot of the demand or the need from the consumers is already created by the brands. So the brands make you feel like you really need to buy something new all the time, and this is creating this overconsumption. So I guess it's very important that we have focus on this topic from all sides of, everybody can work on this topic, because it's not just in one place that we have to get better, but I think, as we said before, it's all a matter of collaboration, but it's also a matter of not education, but also information. A lot of people don't, maybe they know that there is all this overconsumption going on, but maybe they don't know specifically what effect it has, you know. We see all the effects, but maybe it's a matter of being more precise. So also with the kids, it's a matter of giving an example, not just educate. So I think everybody is responsible to give this example in the world, you know. So I absolutely believe that we all have something to contribute, and also in the future we all have some, you know, some responsibilities on all levels. Okay, so it's not just about you have regulations that you need to follow, but it's also a matter of mindset. We need to have a much more like mindful way of consuming, everybody as a consumer. So I think it's a bit of all levels that we have to work on it. Thank you.
Definitely.
My belief is there's several things that I agree a lot with Italo. I think we should buy used and secondhand, and we should do upcycling. I think this is what will push the society to appreciate sustainability, because okay, you cannot do a lot of upcycling, but I think at least we bring out the message that, you know, that we should not throw away things after several uses. I'm very big against fast fashion. Like, fast fashion is what is causing our trade to be one of the worst people, or worst industry in terms of sustainability. We cater for 10% of all the CO2 emissions. That's huge. So I think that in that front, I think that will help a lot. We should also look at the type of material we use, because, for example, there are materials that are very long-lasting and can be reused very easily. We should try to avoid things that, you know, you wash it 2 times and then it goes to your garbage. And I think we should look into that, and I think the society would appreciate things with good value and good quality much more than, you know, quick and easy. I think we cannot just say we need to buy more. We need to buy less in order for the whole society to change. So I do agree with you guys.
Yeah. Actually, buy less and buy better. Yeah, buy better things. And I think we have to believe in the technology, the new technology, about the new materials that can be like more sustainable. And of course, for the buying behavior of the whole consumer market, needs to have some changes. But yeah, as what I said, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, it's not. But we still have to try. We still have to try. And about upcycling, yeah, I agree with Mr. Italo. Yeah, maybe we have to do more promotion, because I can see like a lot of like associations has here, like FDA, Kevin, We Dress, Christina, a lot of people here, that maybe we can like do more promotion about upcycling, right? More competition in this kind of way, to let the younger generation, or maybe older generations, everybody, yeah, try to do the upcycling as to enjoy, yeah, to have enjoyment, yeah, not only think about, oh, that's old, yeah, throw it away, yeah, how to enjoy the experience. I think it matters, yeah. I think that's gonna be easier, I hope.
Can I add a comment? Sure. Yes, I would like to add a comment to the whole upcycling. So first of all, yes, we need to produce things which are higher quality. Obviously, that also means higher prices. But it's a matter of, we need to move in that direction. And with the upcycling, I think when I hear upcycling, sometimes it sounds a bit like a project that I've been making home from an old pair of jeans. But I think we should take upcycling to a whole new level. So if a manufacturer got 100 coats which haven't been sold or which have been made in the wrong color, which is perfectly working, I think it's important that maybe the supplier is communicating with the brand saying, I have these 100 coats. Can we make a collaboration where you are making some changes, draw a change to this coat, and we will take off the color and just change this. And this is upcycling as well. But it doesn't sound like something I'm sitting home and doing. And I think we need to rethink this upcycling concept as of an industrial level, because I think that's also a way where we can avoid a lot of these garments which are thrown out even before they arrive at the market. So I think we have to rethink this, this whole concept again.
Yeah, exactly. I got some questions from the audience and see who would like to take this one. This one asks, is there any contradiction between sustainability and productivity efficiency in the fashion industry?
Contradiction. Okay. I'll say there must be some contradiction, but it's getting less and less because of the technology and of course the mindset of the owners of the manufacturing, the production line, and the top management. And I agree with you guys. Yeah, it's not only about money. Yeah, it's not. But as what I said, but sometimes in the real business world, when you want to be the good guy, but all the others surrounding you as your competitors, they are trying to cheat. Yeah, sometimes it's quite tempting to cheat together, right? yeah, because it's kind of market driven. But as what I said, every step counts. So try our best. And for back to the question, and I'll say, we manufacturers, we are trying very, very hard by not only calculating the profit or the money, because as what I said, we're trying to name the cost as investment. Yeah, that's honestly, that's a huge step. Yeah.
Changing the word from cost to investment is a huge step.
No, because changing your mindset. Yeah, it is.
Can I add? Yes, actually, yes. We talked about this before. I think we need to see this whole discussion about sustainability as an investment, because for companies, especially for manufacturers, there's a lot of, the brands are asking for this certification, we want this, and you have to make clear this, and you need a lot of information, and it's all something extra which is added to the manufacturer. And I think, obviously, it's an investment for everybody, and it's, unfortunately, this is also often an investment that you don't see a direct return. In sense, obviously, we make the world better, and that should be enough for the investment. But when you're making business, it's not only about numbers. In the end, it's very important that you can also give your customers what they're asking for, but it's still a cost. So I think it's important to call it an investment and not just a cost. Yeah.
It's an investment in the sense that if your factory can do it cheaply, it's a competitive advantage. Versus the other companies who cannot achieve this goal, then they are out of business. So I don't think it's necessarily a contradiction. More like it's how individual companies look at the question.
Yeah, exactly. Because to me, I think productivity and efficiency will contribute to sustainability.
Can I add something?
Definitely.
One of my professors once told me something that has remained in my mind. He told me it doesn't exist yet a sustainable real fashion, but they do exist many sustainable ways of doing fashion nowadays. And I think this is true. We do not have already one single way of doing really sustainable fashion, but we are approaching many sustainable way of producing fashion nowadays. So this is the gap. We have to be mindful.
And I think talking about the efficiency and productivity and sustainability, of course, if you can imagine to every top management or the bosses, if you're telling them that okay, this process can save you money, so which means saving energy, okay, or minimize the wastage. I think nobody will say no to this kind of things. So what I want to say is like we have to try because we're still very new in this area, because we're not talking about sustainability for 100 years. We're still new. Yeah, I think everybody got to learn about this and try our very best, because we don't have like unlimited time, right? Because like is we're like look at the weather now, the extreme weather now. We just had a typhoon in November in Hong Kong, so it's not normal. So we have to be alert.
Yeah. I got another question. Do you think AI technology plays any part of improving sustainability in fashion? I'd like to talk about AI.
I would like to add something to AI. I do believe that for the overconsumption and calculations of overconsumptions I think we can use AI to calculate very well how much should be produced and how much should be consumed. So in that sense, I think we could use it. AI as a part of the design, I'm a bit more concerned about that, because I think there's going a lot more than just, an AI into a creative development of garments. So maybe in the future you can use it, but for now, I think it's very important that it's not just AI going into the whole design process, for instance.
Actually, I listened in one of the talks that our colleagues have given us. They can use AI to work together with the design statistics, sales statistics, to pinpoint exactly what will sell, what type of color, what type of garments, to reduce stock. So in that sense, of course, it does.
But it means we should abandon totally the forecasting.
It is forecasting. It tells the companies what to produce.
Yeah, but nowadays forecasting is one of our biggest issues.
So we'll have some AI-enabled demand forecast.
Yeah, so I think you still will need people to make forecasts, but as it's going, I don't think the last 5 years the forecasts have been pretty bad. If because of all the overconsumption. So I think. Yeah, so I think it's very important. We also see big companies right now which are basically using AI to make consumers consume more, and I think obviously that's the way that we have to avoid it. So I think we have to be, I'm not saying we have to be careful, because I think if you use AI in the right way, it could be a very, very useful tool, but I'm afraid that it can also be abused, as it is being right now from bigger companies which are really pushing the consumers to buy even more. So I think if you do everything in the right way, I'm sure, like in moderations, I'm sure you can apply AI in fashion.
Yes, I would like to echo your saying. I think AI can be a very good assistant. Yeah, but you can use it, but do not like rely on it. Yeah, not 100%. yeah, just trying to like doing something faster, like in research or anything, but you have to do more to fact check or you have to use our own mindset, our own thinking, our brain to like do something over it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's okay.
It's a very funny, interesting idea you just said. So the AI is knowing the people's behavior so well that it will push us to buy more, but actually we are limited by resources, right? How do you buy more?
No, I see what you mean now. I mean, it would be a tool more to understand and not something that pushes you to buy more.
Okay, maybe one last question to Jane, particular to you. Okay. Do you find that the appetite for circular fashion design courses and topics is high within the academic institutions, where perhaps the teaching staff are from previous generations of design thought, as is with the students themselves? So I guess she's asking whether the teaching staff can cope with the latest technology about circular fashion design. Yeah.
So if they're updated on it, like, yeah. So yes, I think this is a very good question, because my generation of designers, I never learned, I would never, when I went to university, I never heard the word sustainability. You know, you could design whatever you want as long as you're creative. You could do whatever you want. You know, plastic, pellets, whatever, leather, everything was good as long as you do creative, okay? Which is not going anymore. So my generations, which is also my generation, which is the teachers now in university, I think if you don't keep updated and if you don't follow this whole, you know, wave we have right now and stay on top all the time, I think it's very difficult to educate for sustainability. If you're sitting in a company that you've been sitting in maybe the last 15 years and you design as you've been doing the last 15 years, you don't do sustainability updates, or if you're not interested in sustainability, I think it would be very difficult to go and teach and go and also make an interested speak about sustainability for the new generation. So I think it's crucial that as educators, that you stay on top all the time and you follow all the new technologies and you follow what is also interesting the students, because this is a topic which can be a bit dry. If you think right now, if you're starting in a university and think that you're going to be a new Versace or Armani, you have to forget about it, because it doesn't exist in the future. We are going to have a new generation of designers which are doing a complete different job than before. They're going to design, they have to be creative with the material which is already existing. So it's not a matter of you can just design whatever you want. You're limited, and I think that's the core in new designers, where the creative have to be, where they really have to be created in using what we already have on the planet for not creating more trash. So I think it's a complete new generation that we will see in the future of designers. And obviously, as I said before, it's important that they know the whole, you know, circular economy and the whole supply chain to be updated and to be able to implement it in the world that we are living in right now.
Yeah, can't agree anymore. Because I don't think it's only the educator needs to keep themselves updated. Every one of us needs to do continuous learning and then keep ourselves up to date with sustainability and stay on top of everything.